Hello and welcome to ECN202, Principles of Macroeconomics here at the University of Rhode Island in summer 2024. My name is Liam Malloy. I am an associate professor here at URI and chair of the economics department, and I will be your professor for the next 5 weeks. So in this video, we're just going to do a quick introduction going through the syllabus, walk you through a little bit of Brightspace, but there are some videos below this one that will give you more detail on Brightspace and the textbook. And then there is a link to a discussion question just where you can introduce yourself, and that will allow me to know that everybody is on Brightspace and following along. All right, so let's get started. So first we'll start off with the textbook. The textbook is called The Economy. It's by a group called Core Economics. It is free online. There's the website. We're going to do approximately 2 chapters per week, so I recommend making sure you read ahead so that the lectures will make more sense. And also it's a good resource to go back to when you're doing the problem sets. There's also an app. You can read it on your phone or tablet if you would like. So definitely do the reading. The other thing I want to emphasize right away is the importance of the problem sets. There will be 1 problem set per week covering the chapters that we do that week. Take your time, do them carefully. You do have 3 attempts to do them, so make sure you get started earlier in the week. Don't leave them until 11 o'clock on Friday. And then if you go back into the problem set on Brightspace, you can get some feedback, see what you did right and wrong, and then do your next attempt. So hopefully everybody can get, high grades in the problem sets, and that will translate into good grades on the exams as well. So as I said, problem sets are a big part of your grade, 35%. The exams are 45%, so 20% for the midterm, 25% for the final. And then class participation is that last 20%. So make sure you do your problem sets, not only because they're a big part of your grade, but they're also the best preparation for the exams. Now, I will give you some additional practice questions for the exams, but make sure, between the problem sets and the extra questions, make sure you study all those so that you're ready for the exams. So class participation is going to be through the discussion sections on Brightspace. So there will be a discussion forum for every week with 2 questions. So generally, 1 question per chapter. There's not really right or wrong answers to the discussion questions. It's really more about your experience and opinions about what we're learning that week. You can either respond directly to the question or respond to one of your classmates' answers. Both should be about the same length, about a paragraph, at least 3 to 4 sentences, if not a little bit more. And then there's also a separate forum each week for asking me any questions you might have about the material. So if you have a question on, one of the problem sets or some of the material that's in the chapter, you can ask questions there and I'll get back to you. If you have a question that's specific to you, feel free to send me an email and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So on Brightspace, you'll see it's basically set up as modules. And so if you go into like the content section or just on the front page, each of these is a module that will have everything you need for that week. So hopefully you've found the Start Here module, right? So you just work through that, these few videos, and then the discussion question to introduce yourself. And then each week has a module. So each week will start with, a link with the chapters to read for that week, the videos to watch, which are both lecture videos that I'm talking, and also the videos from the book, a link to the discussion questions, and a link to the problem sets, and then for the weeks where we have an exam, a link to that as well. So if you just open up that weekly module every week and work your way down, you will get everything done. Just one thing to note is that if there's like a lot of material in the week, so like the first week and maybe the last week, you have to hit the load more. So just make sure you get to the end, right? Usually the problem set and exam are the last things on the weekly module. You can also get to the discussion forums and the content through the bar up here. So content will just take you to the course content Discussions will take you to the discussion forum. So the weekly questions, if you have any, questions for me or the discussion questions. And then quizzes will take you to the both problem sets and the exam. So both of those are called quizzes by Brightspace. And then for the problem sets, they're due on Friday at the end of the week, so 11:59. Everything's due at 11:59 on Friday, but try to get them done earlier. You don't want to leave everything to the last minute. The questions come in a variety of types, so most of them are multiple choice questions, although some of them do have more than one right answer. You'll be able to see if it only allows you to select one answer, then it just has one answer. If it allows you to select more than one answer, then it could have 2, 3, or maybe even 4 right answers. There are some matching questions, mostly for vocabulary and terms that we're learning. A few numerical problems where you do a little bit of calculation. There's not too much math in this class. And then a fill in the blank, for some terms there. But most of the questions will be multiple choice questions. There'll be 15 to 20 questions per week. And as I said, right, you have 3 attempts. So you can go back into your first attempt, see what you got right, what you got wrong. There'll be feedback for each question. And then you can go do your second attempt. So make sure you start them earlier than, Friday at 10 p.m., right? I would recommend doing your first attempt on Wednesday or Thursday so that you have time to review them and do a second attempt. And then if you need to, a third attempt as well. And then the last thing for this video is just the exam. So they will be very similar in format to the problem sets. They're the same types of problems. The exams are open book and open note, but the big difference is you only submit them once. So there's not additional attempts and you have a limited amount of time, right? So you have an hour and a half for the midterm, 2 hours for the final. They'll be open for a 24-hour period. So you can find the time that you have available, but you just want to make sure that once you start, you complete it within the allotted time, right? So an hour and a half for the midterm, 2 hours for the final. You are expected to do the exams on your own. So the problem sets, if you have friends in the class, you want to work together on the problem sets, that's good. But the exams should be done individually. All right, so that's all for this video. Watch the next videos here, which are an introduction to Brightspace and an introduction to the textbook, and then introduce yourself in the discussion forum. And then you can get started on the week 1 material and let me know if you have any questions.